Hello, welcome to another video. My name is Jamie, so good to see you again. Or if you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy your time here with me hanging out. So today I'm going to be doing the end of year book tag. I never do book tags, but I love talking about books and especially love talking about reading plans for the end of the year, which is essentially what this video is. So there are 6 questions which I will just answer for you, and I will also leave the creator of the tag in the description box down below. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. So the first question is, are there any books that you've started this year that you need to finish? And my answer is not really. I know that's really boring, but not really. I'm not really the sort of reader to read something over the course of a long time. I'll read series over a long span of time, but if I'm picking up something and reading it, I'll either just DNF it and put it to the side, or finish it within that week. I don't really put things on hold or anything because I always forget about what I've read. I can't do it. So yeah, I guess for that I would just say the books that I'm currently in the middle of, and I'm pretty sure the only book I'm still in the middle of right now is Promises and Pomegranates, which is a dark romance retelling of Hades and Persephone. But even then, I'm nearly finished. So not really is the answer to this question. Question number 2 is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And that's so funny because I live in the southern hemisphere, so we're literally going into summer. Today is kind of a gloomy day, but for the most part we're going into summer. However, to answer that question, I don't really choose my reads based on the weather. Halloween, sure, I'll read some scary books. Valentine's Day, yeah, I'll read some romances. But as far as the weather goes, I just kind of read what I'm in the mood for. Whether it happens to be a wintry or a summery read, it doesn't even really matter to me. But I will answer the question. There are a couple of autumnal books that I still want to read, I don't know, fall themed books that I still want to read hopefully before the end of the year, and that is All's Well by Mona Awad. I actually bought this right before I started making videos again, and I haven't read it yet. I really want to. It features Shakespeare, so that's one of my favorite kind of tropes or just things in books that I really love, is books about Shakespeare and plays and stuff like that. And it's a horror, so that's why I'm saying autumnal. It basically is about a teacher, a drama teacher, whose students are putting on All's Well That Ends Well, but she actually wants to do Macbeth. And I relate to this teacher so hard because why would you put on All's Well That Ends Well when you could put on Macbeth? All's Well That Ends Well is one of the worst plays that Shakespeare has written, and Macbeth is one of the best. So I really want to read this. And then also autumnal vibes, I guess, is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I really want to get back into fantasy so badly, and I feel like this is really up my alley because it's a magical school. And I've never read anything by Naomi Novik, but I know she has a lot of fairy tale retellings, and I really want to read her work. I feel like I would be really interested in it, and I feel like it would be the sort of fantasy that I enjoy. So I feel like hopefully this is my foray back into fantasy, and I feel like it gives me kind of autumnal vibes. I answered that question the best I can while living in the southern hemisphere. Question number 3, is there a new release that you're still waiting for? And because it's currently Saturday 19th November, not really. I haven't really kept up to date with releases this year, to be honest, because I don't know, my reading this year just hasn't been, I've just been focusing on so much life things. I haven't really kept up to date with releases. However, there are some releases coming out early next year that I'm really looking forward to, which I think I should probably just mention anyway. The first one is Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. This is the sequel to Things We Never Got Over, which was a romance book that I read this year and really loved. Things We Hide from the Light is following a character that I don't really care about. However, I'm still excited to read it because I feel like this world that Lucy Score has created, it's very cozy, small town vibes, and I don't know, I just really liked it. So I am excited to read this one. And then the other one is Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun, which is, so Things We Hide from the Light was mid-Feb. This one is the end of January, which I'm really excited for. And I really love the first 2 books in the Finlay Donovan series, and I have no idea what's going to happen in this 3rd book, but I am really excited to read it regardless. Even though I didn't love the 2nd book so much, I'm still excited to read this one, and hopefully it brings back some of the magic that the 1st book kind of brought for me. Question number 4 is, what are 3 books that you hope to read before the end of the year? I have 3 here that I've picked out that are very high priority for me. The first one is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I want to do a full reading vlog on this, but I kind of have been biding my time because this is going to sound so silly, but I don't want to do a reading vlog when at the same time as everyone else. Sorry, dare to be different. I don't know, I'm biding my time a little bit and waiting, I guess, for the hype to die down before I do my own. But R.F. Kuang, like, as you guys know, The Poppy War is one of my all-time favorite books. So I really want to read this. People have compared it to The Secret History, which is my other all-time favorite book. Like, I'm gonna say that I have 2 all-time favorite books, and they're Secret History and The Poppy War. So the fact that this is kind of combines the two, like, hello, I'm really excited to read this. I've not watched any content about it, so I have no idea what it's about, and I want to keep it that way. But yeah, I'm so excited to read this. And then also I have Us Against You by Frederick Buckman. Technically, I want to read both this and The Winners before the end of the year, but I'm not sure if it's entirely possible. But this is the second book in the Beartown series, and I read Beartown earlier in the year and I absolutely fell in love with it. So I can't wait to see what Frederick Buckman does in the second and third book, especially because I feel like Beartown would have been like completely all good as a standalone novel, but that just makes me more intrigued to read the next couple of books in the series. There is also a queer character in the first book, and I've heard that this book kind of goes more into like his story and his queer identity, so I'm really excited for that as well. And then the last book that I'm going to mention that I want to finish before the end of the year is Some Kind of Perfect by Krista and Becca Ritchie. Of course, this is the final like epilogue novel in the Addicted Calloway Sisters universe or series. This kind of tells a story that spans over 10 years, so it's basically just, you know, their lives, and it follows all 6 of the main characters in the series, and I'm just really excited to see what happens to my favorite 3 couples. Well, favorite 2 couples, Reich and Daisy stans, I'm sorry. But yeah, I really want to read this. This is a very highly anticipated read for me. The 5th question is there a book that you think could shock you and become your favorite book of the year before the end of the year? And I mean, the only one I can really think of is maybe Babel, but that wouldn't be a shock to me. Like, that definitely wouldn't be a shock. Like, I think any book that could become my favorite of the year wouldn't really be a shock to me, because before I read a book, I like to go in with a pretty clean slate. Like, I try and push aside any judgments or anything that I've heard about the book before I read it. So yeah, I don't think it would shock me if this is my favorite book, but I will try and go in clean slate. But yeah, honestly, any book that I read could shock me. You never know. You honestly never know. I don't know. That question is worded kind of strangely. Maybe, maybe, who knows? Yeah. Anyways, the next and final question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2023? And yes, absolutely I have. I've made reading plans, I've made content plans, I've thought it all through. I've literally got a list on my laptop, which is January videos, January reads. I still need to do my most anticipated releases video that will be coming out in late December, early January. I have a bunch of reading goals that I want to do. I'm not going to try and talk too much about them with you, because obviously end of year, beginning of year content is like my favorite content to film. I know that some people find booktube to be very oversaturated with those sorts of videos around this time of year, but they're my absolute favorite, and I am sorry, I just love making plans. So yeah, I've got a bunch of reading plans. One of them is also, I want to start doing a monthly series where I read a random book off my TBR, just selected at random. I want to do that like every month. I want to try and read more new releases, because when I looked at the Goodreads Choice Awards for this year, I had read maybe 3 of the books out of every single category. Yeah, I have so many different like reading vlogs that I want to do where I read specific books and stuff like that. So I have so many plans, and you will, you know, you'll see them coming very, very soon, because January, December is when I kind of start talking about them. But yeah, so that concludes all the questions. This has been a super short video, but I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. Please let me know down below any of your end of year reading plans. I would honestly love to hear about them. I love hearing about all of people's reading plans. Let me know your most anticipated releases as well, because I haven't started planning my most anticipated releases video yet, but I'm always so excited to see what's coming out in the next year. And if you have a most anticipated release, please let me know, because you could be putting it on my radar. But yeah, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate all of you, and I will see you very, very soon in another video.